Hello, I'm Wes Hohenstein with this CBS 17 Florence update on Sunday evening. Let's talk about the big picture because 4 days from now we could have a major hurricane on the North Carolina coast with high impact rain and wind here in central North Carolina. And that is our big story. Now is the time to start getting prepared as there haven't been many changes in the track, so we're another step closer to that storm being here. The changes we did see today, stronger winds. The storm now has 85-mile-per-hour winds. That was as of the 5 p.m. Sunday update. The track didn't move much. However, it did slow down, which could eventually lead to some flooding rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But over the next few days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, things will be pretty typical around central North Carolina. That rain and wind from Hurricane Florence will arrive Thursday, Friday, and could stick around even into Saturday. But right now, it is more than 1,400 miles away from the coast of North Carolina. And if you just look at the satellite, it's starting to look a little better organized. And that does tell a story. Of course, a few days ago, upper-level winds tore the thing apart. Now it's starting to get more symmetrical. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see an eye develop, the little round eye in the satellite view sometime in the next 24 hours. But as I mentioned, winds are up to 85 miles per hour, gusting to 105, and it's a slow mover, moving west at 7 miles per hour. That means we have a long time before it gets here. However, it also means it has a long time to sit over the very warm water and continue to strengthen. The Hurricane Hunter aircraft continue to investigate. The first flight went out on Saturday, and pretty much from now until it makes landfall later this week, the men and women of the U.S. Air Force will continue to investigate. They will take that data, pass it off to forecasters, and feed it into computer models that'll help us hopefully have a better forecast. Here are the latest computer models, and over the last several days, you know like I do that they were going every which way as they approached the coast, but now that we have new data from the hurricane hunters, and now that we're continuing to get closer and closer to the actual event, the cluster of hurricane model lines continues to get closer and closer together. That tells us a story that there is more certainty, more confidence that this could impact the Carolinas later this week. So from those computer models, we have the official track from the National Hurricane Center. And as you can see, it'll go from a Category 1 hurricane now to a Category 3 by Monday afternoon. That's the explosion from those warm waters it's about to move into, and it could possibly maintain a Category 4 status up until just before landfall Thursday afternoon. But then notice the icons go from being spread apart widely to getting much closer, and that means the system will slow down to a crawl. I want to drop in the center line of the forecast cone of the current forecast, and I'm going to compare that to this white line, which is the previous forecast. And as you can see, just to kind of compare and see if it shifted, it did not really shift all that much, but its slowing down is a big deal. Not only is it about ready to move into some incredibly warm water, as we look at our sea surface temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, that will allow it to explode in intensity and increase the winds, but it's also picking up a lot of moisture. So as we look closely at the cone of uncertainty, which remember, 2/3 of the time, the eye of the hurricane ends up in this cone, but 1/3 of the time it ends up outside of it. So there's still uncertainty, which is why we call it the cone of uncertainty. But remember, this is a 500-mile wide storm. It could be here Thursday afternoon. It could be up here, up into parts of Virginia. It could even be down here in parts of South Carolina and Georgia. So while there's more confidence in the fact that we'll have an impact event here, the exact placement of where that storm is still a little bit up in the air. But there are two things we worry about. I mentioned the rain. If that thing slows down to 5 miles per hour, which is what it could be doing by the time it reaches us Thursday and Friday, that could mean 20 inches of rain somewhere in North Carolina. That and our winds, we expect tropical storm force winds to start to arrive Thursday morning here in central North Carolina. It's a ridge of high pressure that'll continue to steer it. So we will try to forecast as much for that high pressure as we are the hurricane. A stronger high pressure would push it a little farther to the south, delay a turn. A weaker high pressure would allow it to turn sooner, which obviously is what we want. But unfortunately, I don't think it's what we are going to get. And Florence has company, as Monday is the official peak of the hurricane season. Isaac and Helene are out in the open waters of the Atlantic, neither of which are expected to impact the United States. We will continue to watch Hurricane Florence, and we will live through this with you and update you on what to expect over the several days forth. For now, I'm CBS 17 Chief Meteorologist Wes Hohenstein.